Hi everyone, my name is Vaji and this is my project update on my research topic ethical leadership and cyber risk management in New Zealand's banking sector. At this stage of the research, significant progress has been made in strengthening the literature foundation. The literature base has been expanded to include comparative international case studies, which provide broader perspectives on financial cybersecurity governance. These studies allow the research to move beyond a purely national focus and understand how different regulatory environments addresses cyber risks. An analytical link has also been established between international frameworks and the New Zealand context. This connection is important because global financial regulations and cybersecurity standards often influence national governance structures. Another important development is the identification of emerging research gaps, particularly in behavioral and organizational dimensions of cybersecurity. While technical security measures are widely studied, the role of human behavior and organizational decision making remains less explored. In addition, a structured comparative framework has been developed to guide the analysis of the literature. Currently, approximately 60 to 70% of the selected full text articles have been synthesized, marking a strong transition from literature collection towards analytical review. Moving on. From the literature reviewed so far, several key analytical themes have begun to emerge. The first theme is regulatory governance, maturity, and supervisory coordination. Frameworks such as those developed by the Basel Committee on Banking Supervision highlights the importance of coordinated regulatory oversight in managing cyber risks within financial institutions. A second theme relates to national cybersecurity strategy alignment. Comparative insights from countries such as the United Kingdom, Singapore, Australia, and the European Union demonstrate how national strategies guide financial sector cyber resilience. The third theme focuses on organizational cyber resilience models. These models examine how financial institutions build internal systems and governance structures that enable them to prevent, detect, and respond to cyber threats. Another important theme concerns human behavioral risk amplification. Many cybersecurity failures occur not only because of technical vulnerabilities but also due to human behavior, including poor security practices or decision making errors. Finally, the literature highlights the tension between digital transformation and security governance. As financial institutions adopt advanced digital technologies to improve efficiency and customer experience, they also increase exposure to new forms of cyber risk. Moving on. Despite the growing body of literature on financial cybersecurity, several research gaps remain evident. First, there are relatively few peer-reviewed empirical studies that specifically examine cybersecurity governance within New Zealand's financial institutions. Much of the existing research focuses on large economies. Second, behavioral cybersecurity research within the New Zealand banking sector is particularly limited. This gap suggests that the human and organizational dimensions of cyber risk are not yet fully understood within this context. Another challenge identified is the fragmented integration of technical, regulatory, and human factors within existing research. Many studies focus on only one of these dimensions rather than examining how they interact. Finally, there is a clear need for contextualized empirical validation governance structures. This research aims to contribute by addressing this gap and providing insights relevant to national regulatory and institutional settings. Moving on. The research methodology has also been refined during this stage. Strict inclusion and exclusion criteria were applied to ensure that only high quality and relevant sources were included in the literature review. This process helps maintain the academic rigor of the study. The research also uses triangulation of multiple sources of evidence. These include peer-reviewed journal articles, policy reports, and doctoral theses. Combining these sources provides a more comprehensive understanding of financial cybersecurity governance. To support systematic analysis, a comparative analytical matrix has been designed. This matrix evaluates literature across several key dimensions, including governance frameworks, regulatory intensity, organizational resilience indicators, human behavioral assessments, and digital risk response mechanisms. This structured approach allows for clearer comparison across different national and institutional contexts. Moving on. The study is now beginning to define its potential contributions to the field. One key contribution is the development of a contextualized cyber governance model tailored specifically to the New Zealand financial system. This model aims to integrate global best practices while accounting for national institutional structures. Another contribution involves integrating behavioral and organizational perspectives into the financial cybersecurity literature. Many existing models focus heavily on technical security, while this research highlights the importance of human and organizational dynamics. The research also aims to develop a comparative benchmarking framework. This framework can help evaluate how New Zealand's cybersecurity governance compares with international financial systems. Finally, the study seeks to provide evidence-based policy implications that may support regulators and financial institutions in strengthening cyber resilience. Moving on. Over the next 2 weeks, several key tasks will be completed. The remaining full text articles will be fully synthesized in order to complete the literature review dataset. Following this, a structured critical literature review draft will be developed. This draft will move beyond summarizing studies and instead critically analyze their findings and limitations. The conceptual framework guiding the research will also be refined to ensure it clearly reflects the relationships between governance structures, organizational resilience, and behavioral risk factors. Another important step will involve aligning comparative international insights more explicitly with the New Zealand financial system. Finally, the theoretical positioning section will begin to be drafted clearly, situating the research within the broader academic literature. Moving on. Overall, the research is currently transitioning from the literature collection stage towards critical synthesis and theoretical framing. In the earlier stages, the focus was primarily on gathering and reviewing relevant studies from both international and national contexts. However, the research is now moving beyond descriptive comparison. The next stage involves deep analytical integration, identifying patterns across studies, and clearly articulating the research gaps that justify the study. This transition represents an important step towards developing the final conceptual framework and contributing meaningful insights to the field of financial cybersecurity governance. Thank you all for listening to me.